All right, all right, all right. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome. If y'all really knew what was happening right now, you'd be as snickled about it as I am. But anyway, yeah. This is the perfect shirt for today, and always good to see you. Always see you, wonderful people. Let me cut the music off. Blah. All right, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den, is a conversation, not a channel, a community conversation, right? And so we have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss in this conversation this evening. We're going to be talking about Anthony Edwards. If you're not familiar with Anthony Edwards is a superstar NBA player. But what we're not necessarily talking about his play on the court, but we are talking about his play in the courts, or allegedly, right? So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. And I kind of want to break down a few thoughts and ideas and why what is allegedly being said that Mr. Edwards did or could possibly be doing could be a game changer when it comes to this conversation about child support, when it comes to this conversation about gold digging boppers, thoughts, and other things of that nature, right? And, parental responsibility. Yeah, I've been doing too much. So I went to the fridge gave me a Sprite right before the stream. Apparently I have two. So I've been setting stuff up, trying to change stuff up so I have more real estate in my operating area. And it looks good, but yeah, it was just a whole lot of last minute shenaniganery and tomfoolery. So I know folks are like, hey, why is it at 8 o'clock? Just testing some things. So sometimes 9 o'clock I know is a little bit late for folks. You know what I mean? Late 9 o'clock, you worked all day, you're tired, you're dozing off, might catch a little bit of the stream, and you don't really get to participate as much as you want to. I know I talk generally for a significant amount of time. By the time the line opens up, people don't get a chance to call in. So I'm going to start trying 8 o'clock, see how that works for a couple of days. If it works in my favor or our favor, and I think it gets, a little bit more awareness, gets a little bit more going on, then we're going to start rocking at 8. And I know everybody's like, Honcho, what about the other channel? It's coming, right? It's been a day of recalibration, right? So I think I'm almost back to the setup where I wanted to be. I'm missing like one or two things. Try to get that shaken tomorrow or the day after. Depends on how long the delivery takes. But anyway, like I said, so we're going to be talking about Anthony Edwards. We're going to be talking about some lady named Ayesha Howard. We're going to talk about professional boppers. We're going to talk about professional gold diggers. We're going to talk about women who make a living off being baby mamas. And let me check the chat and see where we're at. I got things all over the place, and I want to make sure. Oh, that's the problem right there. Okay, cool. There we go. Shout out to Young Ken. And let's close that. Well, no, we'll keep that pause for right now. Let's see what we got. Is it loft music? Yeah. What you know about that, man? What you know about that? All right. So that's what we're gonna do. Give me just un segundo, por favor. And we're going to break a couple of things down. We'll pull some stuff up on screen so you guys can kind of follow along with what's going on. And we're going to talk plenty of shit because that's what we do, right? And then we'll open up the phone lines and be able to express our thoughts or whatever's going on or what's happening and how things are rocking with this particular conversation. So do me a favor. Give me about a minute and a half. I feel like a craving for some milk and cookies. Now, I always got to eat something on the stream. So give me just a second and we're going to get this thing as it should be. And put that music back on for y'all. And then, yeah, like 2 minutes, right? Already, Cream's in this bitch. Already, good to see you. Shout out to Sophisticated. Let me do this real quick. Like I said, give me it ain't gonna take me a minute and a half, right? Just give me a little bit of time to get my milk and cookies. And we finna talk some shit. We're gonna split a dash on that bitch ass. Hold on 1 second. cool. We back. I almost bust my motherfucking ass. Anyway, let's get into it. So, now you probably like, what kind of cookies you fucking with, nigga? What y'all? Let me put y'all on some game. Put y'all on some game. If you ain't fucking with these, you ain't fucking with these. First, you ain't fucking with the Pepper Farm has like a whole wide array. And no, I don't get paid to promote them, but I only fuck with you. I just be telling y'all shit I like. If you not if you're not fucking with the Pepperidge Farm, I don't know what to tell you. But the Sausalitos are my personal favorites. But let's get into this conversation, man, because like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot to get into. So I got to pour them out to switch cameras up. I'm all over the place. Let's do it this way. Let's close that out. You don't need to see all that there. Really? Let me stop that too. Let me close that out. So, first and foremost, you're like, okay, Anthony Edwards, baby mamas, happens with athletes all the time. They got baby. Who is this baby mama, right? I wasn't familiar with it because I'm not really, I don't be giving a damn about the celebrities. I really don't be caring unless it just it brings up a conversation. And this particular situation brings up a conversation, the things that are being said, the rumors that are around it. And I personally think that this is genius if it is what they say it is, right? So there's been speculation that it has happened, it hasn't happened, blase, blase, blah. But the more I got into it, the more information I discovered and understood. If these tables were turned and this was a man and this was somebody else's baby mama or the age range, boy, it would be all kind of uproar and hell. Like, that's what I say, women play life on easy mode, right? Women are always given the easy end of the stick. And again, they can disagree, they can say whatever you want. It's proven time and time again. Right, Anthony Edwards is 23 years old, okay? Just like a situation that happened recently here in H-Town with, what's his name, Jalen Green, with the old baby mama, and what's her name, Dry, the reformed one, who's got a son his age. But that's the first thing you hear a woman says, right? If a man is dating a woman, and he's an older man, and well, he got kids her age, but whenever it's a woman, it's just secure the bag, sis. Like, it's always a double standard of bullshit, right? So anyway, let me talk about it. Let me bring it up here. This the one. And then they pull up here, right? So, Make sure we got the right thing. Yeah, okay, well, yeah. There we go. Who is Ayesha Howard, right? Because I honestly don't know. I'm not familiar. I really don't know who the hell she is. I don't know what she does. Looks like just another broad that went and got a BBL or something, and then you know how the rappers get. They act like they ain't never had shit. Anyway, 38 years old. 38 years old. 15 years his senior, right? And so people, again, if this was the other way around, if this was a 38-year-old, especially with all the desperate women out there, if this was a 38-year-old dating a 23-year-old woman, they'd say all kind of shit about why he couldn't get somebody his age, why can't he go find somebody, in his own bracket, or, all kind of bullshit, right? But again, we've seen this happen, especially several times this past year or so. All these old ex-vixens, all these old ex-jump-offs, all these old ex-bras that got, then been ran through. But again, these young niggas, they don't got the game that some of us old. I know some of you Honcho, we got the riz, we got the, we got the swag, we got y'all ain't got it, right? Y'all ain't seasoned enough, right? Y'all didn't have to play the game that we had to play back in the day, right? I mean, you would see the things because there's a different level of game. There's game on the internet, and you can sit there and say, I got in the DMs, and I said I text this and I did that. Oh, give me your Instagram. It's a different situation when it wasn't all that, and you had one shot to make contact with a broad, right? And that was, you saw out in public, you might have been at the mall, you might have been on the college campus, you might have been somewhere, and you had to shoot your shot right then and there to get some form of connected communication. Generally, a phone number, right? And again, I grew up in the age, right, when the text message and all that shit became cool, especially when it was free after 9, all that type of shit. But you had to strike right then or you lost out, right? Because it wasn't a guarantee that you're going to see this broad again. But now, you get like a soft landing. Because you can say, let me get your Instagram. No harm, no foul, right? Because the broad looks at it like, again, I gave me a new follower, if nothing else. I don't even like this nigga, but my number's going to go up. It's going to make me look better. So she'll give her Instagram to anybody. So, youngsters, they'll be like, I got the Instagram, I got the IG, I got this, I got that. Man, that shit don't mean nothing. That shit means absolutely nothing, right? And then you can continue over and over and over to try to shoot your shot. She probably got a DM full of messages from you that she never responded to, but you still following her ass, right? So it's a win-win for the broad. Back then, again, you tried to get a number. Either you got it or you got a fake number if you wasn't successful, or you just got rejected, right? And it was a situation where it was in public. It wasn't no, oh, I found this broad randomly. She in my city. I didn't, Googled it up or whatever until the days of Black Planet and all that other shit. But you had to shoot your shot, right? You had to shoot your shot then. So again, old school niggas can peep game because it was a face-to-face deal where you had to see, you could understand body language. You had to understand what was really going on. You understood facial expression, whether she was really fucking with you or not. Like these young niggas, and then certain motherfuckers, they're purse first, right? And so you lead with your money, she gonna leave with your money. That's how it goes. That's my little saying. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you lead with your money, oh, I got this, I got this, I got that, you got to take that to attract the broad. You're going to have to have that to keep the broad. And, ultimately, when she's no longer interested in you, the individual, and she knows that she can pull a maneuver and, get you up out your bank account, i.e. have a baby by you. What was the 50 song, Have a Baby by Me, Baby, Be a Millionaire? These broads took that shit literal. Them hoes love that song because this is what they're doing now. Anyway, 38 years old, right? Just had a baby girl of unknown paternity. This was in October. This is kind of where everything started, right? October 25th, 2024. Edwards recently had a daughter with his long-term girlfriend. His rumored to have fathered at least two other children now. He's filed a suit to establish paternity of Howard's newborn daughter. Long story short, a lot of these motherfuckers, and again, it depends on who. Let me see who wrote this article. This is I'm going to tell you. It's Shani Sarkar. I don't know what a Shani sounds like. I ain't finna go deep down in the hole. It could be a female name. So a real nigga gonna say, oh, this is the bitch he was fucking on. Again, because dating to women and men mean two different things. A broad will be getting fucked on and she'll say she's dating somebody. Nigga don't even look like that. He ain't taking her out in public. He ain't even moving with her like that. He's just fucking her behind the scenes. He may be breaking a little bread or something like that. But they're not really dating, right? He's just entertaining her company here and there. But to a broad, she'll make it seem like, oh yeah, we were in a serious move. We were really moving forward. Okay. Right? Y'all got to understand terminology when men say things and when women say things, because there's two different conversations that we'll be talking to each other and having two completely different conversations. Right? So, the lovely Miss Grace, how you doing this evening? TD, what's the motherfucking deal? So again, 38 years old, he's 23. You reverse the script, it'd be all kind of uproar, how he's a predator and all that other kind of shit. It's funny how we don't use the same labels for women who do the same activities, right? Again, women live life on easy mode. Must be nice. Anyway, influencer, Ayesha Howard, I hate the fact that influencers is even considered a thing, right? Because it's not a thing. It's just, especially if you're not really influenced. If you're a bitch that just take pictures of your body, you're not an influencer. You're the digital prostitute, right? Even if you're not getting naked. If you're using your assets to really and you don't have a modeling gig before you ever got on, this ain't like the days of the, what was the Imans and the Cindy Crawfords and the, that was the other broad name, the big forehead. Had the show and all, top model, Tyra Banks, women who were discovered out in the street for being beautiful women or unique looking women and brought in and made millions of dollars, right? Not broads who had to try to force their looks on people, who had to go get surgery, who had to go get alterations. And again, them babies ain't gonna look nothing like they really look like because these bitches went and got a whole bunch of work done and them babies gonna be ugly as shit because they were ugly as shit. But anyway, best known for being Lil Baby's ex and baby mama. And they keep saying that. Like, I don't know. Again, like I've never seen these celebrities taking some of these broads out. Maybe they do. There's a lot of people who know a lot more than I do about it. I've never seen these broads. But again, bitches get slept with and they get to be called exes and all that other shit. Oh, we was fucking around. Oh, he was just fucking around. Like sometimes, hey, I fuck with the bitch, but that's not my girl. That's kind of one of them plays. Anyway, that just gave birth to, she's basically now a professional baby mama. That's really all it is. That's basically what she is. She had a baby by a rapper and now she had a baby by an NBA player. Again, these professional baby mamas, and they're given a platform. Bitches look up to these bitches like they're really a contribution to society. I know motherfuckers, you talking about somebody baby mama, man. Well, obviously, Anthony Edwards don't want her, so shit. He probably wouldn't mind me talking the crazy shit I'm talking. But anyway, running through that, 38-year-old influencer, professional baby mama, taking advantage of these NBA players. So, talking about he's taking the fatherhood in a big way. 20-year-old woman to father 3 children in total. That nigga needs to wrap it up. Right, I understand. Raw is law, right? You either got to tighten up your pull-out game, get a vasectomy. That motherfucker's reversible. You got to do something, my boy. Like, you can't just be out here skiing in these hoes. They fertile. They're taking those Ozempic, and those Ozempic making them fertile longer. You have guys out here 50, 55 having babies because they own that Ozempic. So you got to be careful these days. Nigga might have believed him when she probably said, I can't have no kids. You know, bitch is a lot like that. But anyway, skibbity-doo, skibbity-bop, skibbity-bam, right? This don't look natural to me. You tell me what you think. Some niggas like that fake shit. I'm not. I'm not a fan of the fake shit. I'm not a fan of the fake body. Some niggas get off on that. My thing is, if you like fake shit, there has to be a bit of fake in you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's different if you want to wipe up some fake shit. You fucking on some fake shit. That's different, right? It's a difference with bras that you'll fuck with, like to have sex with, and then bras that you will take out, claim, and want to represent your name, right? So there's that. Y'all niggas still into the BBL shit? Y'all niggas still into these fake snatch weights? Y'all still in all this stuff? Like, this is what y'all are? Like, yeah, and this kills me. This right here kills me. I don't understand. Like, what is with the half-naked baby? Like, that's when you know. That's when you know she's a hoe. Like, what happened to the decent baby shoot? Like, how the bras got to get all half-ass naked with the baby, and when the baby's born, they want to take naked for, like, they have to put their body on display some way. I still look good, even though I'm having a baby. Like, you know, the desire to be desired is sickening at this point, right? Like, it's just, come on, man. Like, when does it stop? When does it end? Anyway, nothing. 15 years old, and Edward told Sandra she would like her partner to be a grown-ass man, but yet you attack, he's a kid, right? Because if we said this about a woman, oh, her medulla oblongata is not fully developed. What's the shit? The frontal lobe. They love to use that one. And what did I say? Shiny sound like a female name, and there it is. It's a female name. Y'all can probably barely see it. DeMarcus, what's the motherfucking deal? But again, because females will phrase shit in a certain way, right? Females will phrase shit in a certain way to make it seem like this is a consensual long-term relationship. And it's just a bitch who was getting fucked on and she just happened to get pregnant, right? We got a BBL at 60. It's a BBL at 60. Again, it's crazy, but these niggas keep feeling like this is a story as old as time. She also really gets approached by a lot of athletes that said that she was not dating, but had a friend she was hanging out with, getting drinks and takes. She's a professional slut, right? These bitches are fucking professional whore, and they get honored and respected. Life on fucking easy mode, right? Niggas would not be chasing and following a nigga who, and this is a weird thing too, right? Because bras will follow a professional bopper. Bras will follow and try to get the playbook and try to fucking, the one who's got 50 Cent, shit, I'm not sure. I know it wasn't Vivica. I hope Vivica didn't get one. If she did, that's disgusting. But, yeah, that's what I just said to in the beginning. Jalen Green, there's somebody else too. But again, when it happens to a man, it's all good because they're getting assets. They're getting something out of it. They're getting some kind of, payment. But again, if this would have been somebody who's damn near 40 years old, dating a 23-year-old, 22-year-old, they'd be calling him every kind of predator. He's kind of sick. He's a pervert. He's this, that, and the third, right? But it is, only old women say that because they can no longer take advantage of that. So now the man ain't shit. Even though they were doing the same thing at their age, they were, benefiting from the older men who were tricking off on them, the older men who were breaking bread with them because they were young. But now that they're no longer in that bracket, it's a new class, a new generation has come up and they're taking advantage of it. Now that man's sick. It's not that, hey, what we were doing was wrong, the behavior was wrong. No, it's that man, he's preying on her. She knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. She wants the money. She wants the bag. A woman, what do they always say? That women mature faster than men. So a woman at that age, in her 20s, right, should actually be held more responsible for her behavior if she's dating older men and doing those things than a young man, right? Than a young man, than a Jalen Green, than an Anthony Edwards or somebody like that. So again, they'll always use double speak. They'll always flip the conversation. They'll always make it one way or the other. Oh, hell no, I know she did not. You got to be lying, Ms. Green. I know Vivica did not get, disgusting. Well, like I said, a lot of these older broads, instead of doing the thing to maintain yourself, hey, put in the work in the gym, eat healthy, eat right, we're going to go hit the doctor. We're going to hit Dr. Miami. Dr. Miami's a bad motherfucker. These ain't bad bitches. These ain't baddies. Dr. Miami's just a bad motherfucker with the work. Like, that's what people got to understand. Anyway, kind of getting to the point that I wanted to get into, right? Early, now let's fast forward to March. That there was a thing, and let me see if I pull it up here. He actually texted her and was telling her that, and this is the conversation, I'm going to get into child support, I'm going to get into the conversation here, and I want to know y'all's thoughts, because I believe that if what he's allegedly said to have been doing or is going to do, I think it's genius, and I think that every man of status who has money or whatever should do it. And I think that it should change the rules of child support as we know it. But hear me out. So allegedly he told her that he didn't want the kid. He gave her money to get the abortion. And instead she, right. And that's it's a huge lie. Women get to a certain point and they stop. Most women never mature past the mindset of 13, 14 years old. Right? Because think about it. They're doing the same shit at 40 and 50 nowadays. Look at them. When they have more access to more information, more access to more opportunities, still get treated with much more preferential treatment, but they still behave like what? They're trying to compete with the 20-year-olds. And what were they doing at teen? They're trying to compete with the older women for whatever. And then now that they became the older women, now they're trying to compete with the younger women. Now, you can't tell me nothing. Again, this ain't hate. This is just truth, right? Because you can't disprove this because you see it everywhere. Now, there may be individual situations. You can pluck one out of a hat, pluck two out of a hat. But the fact that you have planefuls of women, grown women, old women, married women going to get BBL. What are you getting a BBL for? You done lived 45 years of your life with a flat ass, with an old pancake, but now all of a sudden, why do you need one? Women who get out of a divorce or get out of a relationship, now they want to go get a BBL. Why? What are you trying to compete with? And again, if these are the requirements, right? Because women always say, oh, you should like me for my personality. Well, obviously, you ain't working with nothing because you got to go get surgery and do all this other shit to get a little bit of attention. So, tell me if I'm wrong if you want to, but actions speak louder than words. But anyway, apparently he gave her money to go get the abortion. She didn't go do it. So this brings up an interesting conversation, right? So he has declined. He's, signed away all his rights. Okay? He signed away all his rights for fatherhood. Now, people are calling him a deadbeat dad, calling him he ain't shit, or, this, that, and that because of that. Now, if that woman would have said, hey, I want to get an abortion, and he said, I wanted to keep the kid, and she would have went and got that abortion, they would have said she was exercising her right, her body, her choice, all of that stuff. So this is another situation of her body, her choice. He gave her the option to not have to deal with it. She chose to want to deal with it because she wants to be a professional baby mama. By the time this kid is old and done, she'll be what about 56? You know what I'm saying? About 56 years old. And he might be in his 40s? So again, she doesn't want to work. She doesn't really want to do anything. She just sees it as securing the bag. So again, cool. Signed away his rights. He tried to give the money for the abortion. She took that and ran off with it when probably bought another BBL or something. I don't fucking know. Then tried to move from Georgia, where she was, to California in an attempt to try to secure more money for child support. Because I guess child support, in California, we know what kind of state California is. We know what kind of activities take place in California. Again, her mindset is not about the well-being of this child. It's about how she can be sustained as a professional baby mama. You already got a rapper baby. You got an athlete baby. I don't know if there's a third to secure a trifecta. Maybe you got to get an actor, and then she got the trifecta. I don't understand these niggas who run behind these hoes. Like, if a broad, and I knew she had a chick from a baby from an actor or a rapper or whatever, and you were in one of these major categories of influential people, why would you fuck with this bitch? Like, why would you fuck with this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Wolverine, what's the motherfucking deal? Jabari, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Oh, Michelle's here. Oh well. But like, why would you? I don't understand it. Anyway, gave her the money to get the abortion. She didn't want to get the abortion. Now people are calling him a piece of shit because he doesn't want to be in the kid's life. He didn't want the kid. He gave her an option to opt out. But when a woman does it, again, women are given life on easy mode. They're never held accountable for their decisions. A woman can lie and say anything in the world, and then she gets discovered for lying and bullshitting. Well, you don't know what she was going through. She did that to try to protect herself. And maybe it was, and it's always an excuse. It's always an out. It's always something, right? This is why we ain't gonna ever have a woman president. I don't care if that make you mad or not. But anyway, it's bullshit, right? It's a real crock of shit. So again, he said he put up front, I don't want the baby. He told her he wanted her for adoption. Not adoption, he didn't want, he wanted an abortion. Whatever. I'm gonna bring up the text here in a minute. So all of this kind of leads up to this, right? He said, because she tried to go to California, but they lacked jurisdiction to determine the parameters of child support, and so it'd have to go to a Georgia judge, right? He doesn't want custody. He doesn't want visitation rights. Fine. Right? She can't call him a deadbeat. She can't because he said all of this beforehand. So she knew what she was getting into. It's not like this nigga was saying, "Oh, baby, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do this, and we go do." No, he told you beforehand. He allowed you to make a decision. He allowed you to make a choice, and you made the choice you wanted to make because you wanted to secure the bag, right? And then I'm pretty sure once the funds are not enough, or I don't know. Let me see how long Edwards been in the league. You know, did he just get a deal, or he probably up for one? If he ain't, just get one. And that's what it is. She's trying to reach and get as much money as possible. So here's the thing that everybody's talking about, right? So allegedly, the conversation is, let me pick this off here. Allegedly, the conversation is that Anthony Edwards wants to pay up front the entire amount of child support, right? And if this is true, if this is a factual thing, I believe this is the most genius shit in the world, right? Especially if you're an athlete, especially if you're an actor. And it gave me some thoughts about child support as a whole, right? Because the rules of child support are outdated. They're archaic. They don't apply these days. And we see women who basically don't want to do shit. They want to take advantage of the system. You've seen women who've taken advantage of the system by there was a dude, he owes, what, $90,000? Oh, $90,000 and took his license and all this shit, make it hard for him to work. It wasn't even his baby, right? Never seen the kid. And then the kid, and this was like after she was like 35, trying to go after and sue the daddy for the back child support, knowing that that's not her father, right? Go sue your mama, because your mama's the one, you know what I'm saying? So that way, your mama's the one who's the real deadbeat. Your mama's the one who's the real loser because she opened her coconut legs open for anybody and whoever and don't know. And now she's just trying to put it on another man, some man who, again, she might not even have had sex with, right? And that's crazy because it happens a lot more often than it ever should. Anywho, he wants to pay the totality of the amount. So again, say I think it's $5,000 or whatever it may be, right, a month, which is ridiculous for a kid, but whatever. I think that it should be allowed. So if it comes out to $1 million, if it comes out to $2 million, he should be able to pay whatever that amount is, sign his rights away, and she should never be able to ask him for another fucking dollar, no matter what kind of contract he gets, no matter what kind of deal he signs, no matter what kind of shoe deal he had with nothing. You shouldn't be entitled to another dime. This is what you get. This is it. Leave me the fuck alone. I've signed away my rights. I don't want nothing to do with you. I told you beforehand, it should be more than enough, right? Because if a woman can, like I said, if a woman can get rid of a child that a man wants, even though it takes two, he needs to be responsible, and there's no consequences, then a man should be able to say, hey, I don't want to take care of this kid. Now, if he's proven beforehand, before the child ever reaches, and again, I'm not condoning abortions or whatever your political beliefs may be, or, whatever. We're just talking about the situation at hand. If he's shown beforehand that he had no intention of having a serious relationship with you and you chose to bring a child into this world, knowing that it was going to be a single mom situation for you, you don't get to cry and talk about how tough it is being a single mom because you were given $1 million, $2 million settlement, but this is what's going to happen. And this is what I'm telling you. I hope that it does happen. And she can keep getting money from Lil Baby or whoever. But whatever she gets from him, she's going to blow through immediately, right? Won't last a year or two. A woman who wants to live that type of lifestyle, who wants to be on the scene, to be a professional hoe, or whatever you want to call it, professional baby bopper outer, she's not going to, she has no money management skills, right? When the BBL starts sagging, she's going to have to get that reapplied. When the other features ain't looking right, she's going to have to get that redone. She's going to want to live a lifestyle of Birkin bags and traveling and doing all this other shit so she can look like a pseudo-celebrity. That kid will not get taken care of. I feel bad for the kid, but not because Anthony Edwards is a deadbeat father. It's because she was born to a deadbeat mother, right? And so I hope that it is allowed, that he's allowed to pay whatever, $1 million, $2 million, and she has to budget and allocate that money for the rest of her child's existence. And if she can't, if you're telling me that $2 million, $1 million, if somebody said, hey, I'm gonna give you $1 million, you gotta figure this kid out for yourself. You're telling me that $1 million, right? $1 million can't maintain the life of a child, then you're just a bad budgeter, right? That's the second bad decision you've made as a woman. So again, I'm not mad at Anthony Edwards. He made it clear from the jump, that's not what he wanted. Again, old woman, almost 40 years old, trying to trap a man early 20s. If this was anything else, we'd make every excuse in the world for the woman, right? And I'm not making excuses for the woman. She's much older, much more experienced. This ain't her first go round. She trapped this man from the very jump, right? Trapped from the very, very jump. You know what I mean? So again, I have no sympathy for whatever outcome she gets. Again, who tries to go to another state to try to get more money? That tells you what her intentions are from the jump. It has nothing to do with the well-being of this child. She's trying to secure the bag, as they say. So anyway, I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, you know what? There's a couple of things that should be changed to child support, right? Because you see a lot, too, where man and woman may be together, have the kid, gets a child support order, whatever. Man moves on, has to take care of his own household, right? Not much less funding, whatever other household, whatever bills he's paying, whatever money, if not alimony included, has to maintain for himself. Is not allowed to have an improved quality of life because as soon as he makes a little bit more money, the vindictive ex-woman wants more of his money. I believe that a woman should not be able to file for child support at a higher amount than the man was making when the child was conceived. So if you opened your legs up to that nigga knowing that he didn't have a job, that he didn't have anything going on, and he was broke, then that's on you, right? Because the only way that the system will change is if women are held much more accountable. So I don't care if you had the baby and then he went on and became a CEO, you don't get CEO money, right? Because you picked him as no-go Joe, right? No, nothing shaking, right? That's how it should be. When you thought it was a good idea, to let him hit it raw, you let him hit it raw. Never had second thoughts. Anyway, y'all know about the Single Mom song. That's the greatest song. That's the greatest thing that's happened like in the last 2 years of the internet. But that's what you should be entitled to. There's no other justification saying, okay, hey, this man went on, got motivated to improve his life, and now because you're no longer a part of it, that you should feel entitled to the more money that he's making. Doesn't make sense. There's no logic behind that. I don't care if it's his kid or not. He should be able to spend more on the kid if he wants to. But at the point in time that you filed the child support, or that you open your legs to him and then you file child support, that's it. At the very latest, only the amount that he was making when you filed child support. There should never be a situation where you get to go back to court and say, I need more money. And it sounds like you're poorly budgeting the money that you did have, right? That's the thought. I want to know what y'all think about that one. Also, I agree with the idea of what the concept that Anthony Edwards, or that they're allegedly saying that Anthony Edwards is doing, right? You should be able to be given a total amount, right? This is the over the course of the 18 years, this is the full amount. And you should be able to pay that amount. No penalty, no early payment penalty, no nothing. In however, whatever method you want to. If you want to pay 2 or 3 months here, you want to pay, the whole thing here, want to pay a year here. And not be responsible, after you've paid that total amount, not have to be responsible for any additional money, right? Because if that was okay and that was the thing that you did, that was the choice that you made, then that's what it should be, right? Because you say, oh, Honcho, that's crazy. What about these men, blah, blah, blah. What about this, blah, blah, blah. This is going to make it an incentive for people to stay together. Or it's going to make it an incentive for women to be more cautious of who they're opening their legs to, right? Or it's going to be more of an incentive for men, depending on what stage of life you're in, before you get a woman pregnant, right? So it's not about a bias to this sex or that sex. It's about making people have to make conscious decisions because, again, we treat women like children, and then we allow them to receive the consequences of children, even though they make equally as bad decisions as men, but yet we want to give them the same rewards as men. So I feel like there should be a lot of other changes. And immediately when you're talking child support, when you're talking about birth, all these things, to file child support, there should immediately be a DNA test if it's not one already been done. Because in places like Texas, you can be considered the father if your wife goes out and cheats on you, right? She can go out and cheat on you with another man, but if you're married with her and she has that baby, you're automatically considered the father. There's certain states that if you haven't made a claim within 2 years, to dispute that you are the father's child, guess what? You're on the hook for the rest of the child support is a scam for men. It is a benefit, a cushion for women, especially women who make bad decisions, right? And I'm not saying that every woman who's on child support has made a bad decision, but there are a lot of women who are taking advantage of it, have no idea who their baby father is, don't know what the fuck is going on as far as the paternity of their child, and they're rewarded for it because they just wrote somebody's name on the paper or because they deceived right? And again, never held liable for their consequences. They deceived the state. They deceived a man and made them believe that this was his kid. And then at the point, by the time the child starts to develop and look like something, I'm over here getting juicy mouthed. It's too late to do anything about it. And now the man is held responsible for this woman's bad decisions for the rest of the next 18, 20 years, the next 2 decades, right? So this is what I'm saying. Exactly. His money, his choice. That's the type of shit I'm on. So this is what we're going to do. I've been on my rant. I've been on my rage. I've talked for 40 minutes. I said I'm going to start trying to open up the line earlier, right? So give me just a second. Let me go ahead and get everything cranked up. I'm going to open up the line. I'm going to take some calls. I want to know your thoughts on this whole situation, the Anthony Edwards situation. And we're going to talk about it, right? So give me un segundo, por favor, while I make sure everything is kosher. Make sure this is that and that is this. Give me 1 second. Make sure I got that on. Okay, let me test this to make sure it's the right deal. And I can't even have to eat all my cookies yet. No cana, no nada, madre soltera. Anyway. All right, that's not it. Let's see. Yes, it would help. I did this, right? Is it this one? That's what happened when I switched out. Like, literally, man, I'm not even gonna get to it. Just give me just a second, because there's no point even talking about it. Do, 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 do. Dang, this one. See it playing. Oh, this one. There we go. Okay, so what was the one I had it fucking first? All right, cool. So let me go ahead and open up the line. We're gonna take some calls. And again, if you disagree with my belief that I said that the money that you're making when you get pregnant should be what you have to pay in child support. The money that the man is making. If a woman gets pregnant, a man is a bum, and he makes nothing at the time of conception, that should be the money that she receives in child support. When you made the decision, right, to fuck with a nigga who had no documented income and get pregnant by him, then that's what he should be on the hook for. This would make women do 2 things. Again, marry before they carry. Shout out to KS. And again, be much more decisive about the men that they did marry. They'd be much more decisive about the decisions that they made when they opened up their legs. Because if there was no benefit, right, then we wouldn't have a lot of these problems. If there was no plus side to them going to get knocked up from a celebrity or whoever because they're only going to get the amount initially given, and there should be a cap. In reality, there should never, child support should not exceed, the average salary in America is like 40, 50,000, right? It shouldn't exceed, honestly, 10,000 a month is ridiculous. Like no kid should be getting $120,000, $100,000 in child support a year is egregious, right? It's fucking ridiculous. So honestly, it should be like a $7,000, $8,000 cap at the most, and even then, it's way too much. I don't care if you're in private school. You go to private school, 30, 40,000 a year, maybe. You know what? You don't need all the latest clothes. You don't need all the latest. Take that money and start a fucking business and take care of your kid. Men shouldn't have to do anything different. Men suffer at child support. Men shouldn't have to do a damn thing. Nothing, right? So they shouldn't be. They shouldn't have to be deciding, because again, men have to work for sex. Women just open their legs and they get it from anybody. So if a man is telling a woman, well, I'm going to trick off on the pay, and she buys into that, then that's her own fault, right? Because women are more mature than men, correct? So it is what it is. Which maybe she should have made him put one on. But again, this is my child support theory. And again, child support should be able to be prepaid, paid off, and you should have no responsibility. If you don't want to have any responsibilities towards the kid, if you don't want to have to deal with the kid, if you've already said that, hey, I didn't want anything to do with this kid, because men are automatically put on the hook no matter what decision a woman makes. Or you can see a woman, I saw something the other day where a woman was telling the man that the baby died, but in reality, she went and had an abortion. Man broke down crying on stage, like, felt no remorse. I just wanted him to hurt, because she had some type of personal vendetta and she couldn't be responsible for her actions. You know, you want to see this man suffer. So again, If a man says, "Hey, I don't want this kid," and it's documented saying, "I don't want this kid. I don't want you to have it," and has offered to pay for you to go rectify the situation, and you choose not to, then you should be on the hook for that kid, right? Because if he didn't want it, he would be on the hook for it. So let me go ahead and open up the line here. Let's slide this over here. If you disagree, call in and let me know. If you agree, let me know why you agree or what you think should be done different. If you disagree, Michelle, then tell me why you disagree. Why is it silly? It's silly that a woman can get knocked up from a man she's never helped build anything, and then this man tends to make more money, and because this kid who's not contributing to the welfare of anything is already doing all right, that she should be able to go back and ask for it when she's not helping this man, she's not a part of this man's life, he's moved on, he has to take care of his own life, try to move forward and hopefully want another family, and she could get with another man that's to be getting paid off this man, that man, and the third, but yet she can request more money. That doesn't make sense, right? There should be a cap to it. A woman should not be able to make a living. A woman should not be able to make a living being a baby mama, right? Not in this day and age. It should not be a thing. So, the number. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, TD?
Man, I can't hear shit.
You can't hear
Hello?
me? Hold on. Let me see. I might have to swap my thing. Hold on. Let me check you out.
Yeah, it's on your end. You got to turn your volume up a little bit. It sounds like you a little
can
far
you hear me
away.
now?
It ain't that I can't hear you. It just sounds like you far away.
The volume's far away. Okay, let me tweak something here. Let me see what I don't know what button I'm pushing, but it's gonna sound good. All right, let's see. How about that? Does that sound a little bit more clear?
Alright, well, shit, fuck, we gonna roll with it. But what's up, man?
What's going on, TD, man? What's on your mind about tonight's topic and your thoughts about this Anthony Edwards situation?
Man, I think the nigga dumb as fuck, to be honest with you. Like, niggas really don't know how to fucking duck these hoes no more.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I really can't blame the bitch because she saw her sucker and she licked it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you gotta keep it real in that aspect, man. But like, niggas just don't know how to fucking duck these hoes no more. Shit, they get this money. They hear how these hoes talking, how they just want the bag, bro. And like, honestly, bro, I'm kind of irritated by the conversation because black women is the poster child of this shit. You know what I'm saying? They really do piss me off, bro. Like, it's all about the fucking money, my nigga. Like, it ain't about that. It ain't about love no more. That old school '90s R&B love, that shit is gone, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, so like we just gotta deal with these bitches accordingly, man.
So, who do you think killed the old school '90s love? Was it men or was it women?
The women. Like the women, like I just said, they spearheaded this shit. Black women in particular, because they the only ones I deal with. I believe like they started. I'm not saying a white woman won't take a nigga for his money or no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, I only deal with black women, so I can only speak on. Like, they really got the game fucked up with all this shit. Like, everything is about the bag. Like, too many black women like want a finished product, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to help a nigga grind and go and get that shit. You know what I'm saying? Why would you tell a nigga, if you ain't got no money, I can't fuck with you. Then when he go get some, you know what I'm saying, you expect for him to come fuck with you, which would be dumb on the nigga part. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, and social media don't make it no better, because a bitch post a picture with some ass out, like, you got niggas all in the comments and, you know what I'm saying, like, gassing these hoes up. And I'm like, bro, y'all niggas is dumb. They don't want y'all. They just want the likes in the comments. So, like, once the nigga get that shit through their head, it might be a better place, my nigga. But this shit in the States, like,
do you think it's ever gonna change, or we destined this?
Nah, bro. That shit is dead. It ain't gonna. That shit is dead. It ain't coming back, bro. We gotta go. to the DR or some shit. You know what I'm saying? To go find something decent.
Mm.
You feel me? This shit in the States is dead, my nigga.
So I know you say that you rock with black women. Have you ever considered trying to date a woman of a different race to maybe get a different outcome?
I have, like back in my high school days. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't, have me a Hispanic and shit like that. I had a good experience with that, but I always came back to my own race. You feel me? So like, but now I'm open. I just got done talking to my mama about that shit.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But now I'm very open now. Like black women, like these hoes irritate me, bro. Like for real.
I mean, I understand it.
And don't get me started on child support, my nigga. Like, cause I'm on child support.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it benefits me because she can't dictate when I get to see my fucking child. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm the one that's going through it. You know what I'm saying, bro? I had a '94 SS in college. Them niggas stole my shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm out here like I drive trucks, but shit, if you know anything about the trucking market, it's fucked up right now. Shit, I might as well be working at a warehouse or something. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know? So, but I'm saying that to say like I don't have it like how I used to no more. Like she claims she spent thousands and all that shit. So I'm like, well damn bitch, you doing better than me. You might shit. Like what you need child support for? In other words, you feel me? If you spending that much money and shit like that, but the system don't give a fuck about that shit. See, like when it's fucked up because when the daddy can't take care of the child, they want to send us to jail. But when the mama came, bro, they put these hoes on welfare, bro. Man, you about to make me call and cuss this hoe out, my nigga. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, my nigga, because that shit's starting to piss me off, bro. Yeah, man, this shit's starting to piss me off, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Nah,
yeah, man, but like that shit is real irritating to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like I get tired of hearing the conversation, bro, because it's like talking to a brick wall, my nigga. These hoes ain't got it through their mind, bro.
But do you?
And you
think
got older women that's thinking like this too, though. That's the fucked up part about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then even in this situation, so we talking about what Anthony Edwards though, because gal, she damn near 40, and he's 23.
Right.
If this roles were reversed, what do you think people would be saying?
What I think they'll be saying?
Yeah, if there was a 40-year-old man and went and got a 22, 23-year-old woman pregnant, what do you think people would be saying in that situation?
Probably saying, oh, he's too old for her, and he should find somebody his age or some shit like that, something along those lines, and I don't know, my nigga. I really can't say what they'll be saying, cause like there's a lot of that going on anyway. So, but like I say, it still don't change the fact that he the dummy. You feel me?
Yeah, no, you're right.
But shit, a lot of these niggas watching too much porn. You got these niggas cuffing porn stars and shit like that's like what's his name? Zion Williamson.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he get the bitch Mariah Mills pregnant?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. And it's these young niggas. But see, this is what I was saying in the beginning of the stream though. It's these young niggas don't know
Hello?
better. Hold on, can you hear me? Hold on, my bad. Hold on.
Man, this shit dead, boy.
Can you hear me now?
Man, that's so much fucking better. Whatever you did, just keep it right there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what you think. But what I was saying in the beginning of the stream, I said these young niggas don't got it because they've always had to use social media to get it. And so they can't really tell if a bitch fucking with them or not. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they always got to do it through a third party. They get the gram. They don't get the phone number. You know what I mean? And it's easy to they trying to keep shooting your shot in the DMs, and then the bitch figure out you worth a little something. She sees some little pictures. She see you tricking or something, and she okay, she gonna fuck with you. Or they never had to really get out and pull abroad. You know what I'm saying? Like to take that risk, to take that L. So they leading with their wallets first. You know what I mean? And so, you lead with your money first. You're gonna leave with your money first.
Right. But shit, man, the thing about it, bro. I mean, you done been out somewhere. Like I don't give a fuck where it was, club, grocery store, wherever you can find some women in there, right? Yeah. You know what bitches you can get and who you can't get, bro. Like if you hip to the game, if you seasoning this shit a little bit, you know which ones you can get and who you can't get. You know what I'm saying? So therefore you go run into some money and a bitch you and a bitch you know that wouldn't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't have it, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like that's where they get it fucked up at. Like, cause like they think about it. Okay, I got the money now. Like now I can go fuck with this bitch. You feel what I'm saying? When it ain't even supposed to be like this. You know, like see, women they know we already want to fuck. I mean, duh. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean the nigga don't want nothing real neither. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I say, bro, this shit irritates me, man. And I just had to like come on this motherfucking event. When I'm about to cuss this stupid ass bitch that I got for a baby mama out. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Man, let her make it this evening, man. Let's sleep on it. Whatever you got to do, let her make it.
Yeah, cause she said some shit to me yesterday that I ain't even get a chance to respond. So that's why, like, I'm kind of running hard off that shit still. That's why even having this conversation.
I got a question, boy. Do you think having a situation like that, having a BM prior, that kind of alters the way you look at your current or future relationships?
Say it one more time, bro.
I said, so already having a baby mama, like, do you
Uh
think
huh.
in the situation that you're dealing with now, like you say, she done told you some stuff that's ran you hot, does that impact the way you look at your current and future relationships with women?
Uh, I want to say yes and no because, like, only the reason why I say yeah is because, like, you got to keep your antennas up, you know, just in case you run into the same thing. You feel me? So, but on the flip side of that, you know, like you got to be mindful too. Like every female, like not the same. You know what I'm saying? And see, sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, man. But that's like this. That's like it ain't no difference from when a nigga married or whatever. Being married nowadays don't mean shit, bro. It just means you married.
Yeah.
You know, like so, man. What you had just said, what you said earlier about like if the bitch go out and cheat and and
Yeah.
like and and the husband can be considered as the daddy or some shit like
In
that.
Texas, yeah.
What was what
Yeah. In Texas, if you go out, if
when
she go
I
out and cheat on, she go on a girls trip, if she go to Miami or, go to Jamaica or some shit, she come back and now she got Dexter St. Jock baby. You know what I'm saying? You the daddy.
uh
You know what I'm saying? It's on you. Because you married to her.
shit and that's how the judge can look at the shit.
Yes, that's the law. That's the law in Texas. If you marry that bitch and she gonna have a fucking, it's automatically considered whether you sign a birth certificate or not. You are considered the father of that child. So that's why I say that DNA should be a mandatory all the time, no matter what. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're just shacking up, you're fucking around, whatever. DNA should be
Where you read this
mandatory at
shit
birth.
at?
Huh? This is the thing. I was
Where
looking.
you read this
It was
at?
something I was watching the other day. They was talking about different laws and different places with having kids because it was something else. Like I said, it was in some places like 2 years. If you ain't went and try to dispute it, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna be responsible for the kid on paper. If you signed in some places, if you just signed the birth certificate, you know what I'm saying? You automatically responsible for it. Like a man's decision holds 10 times the weight of any woman's decision, especially when you're talking about a court of law, especially when you're talking about
Uh,
family court. You're talking about any of this child support court, whatever you want to call it. Like the simplest, even if you're the man being deceived, right? Even though women swear that men do all the deception and all this other shit, women have the
uh-huh.
ultimate tool of deception because a woman can never be tricked into raising another woman's child. It happens to men all the damn time.
See, man, you know what? That's why I'm glad that Fatal Attraction show exists. I get a kick out of that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you because the only time I see shit like that, and I don't believe in putting no hands on no woman and no shit like that unless you in fear for your life or something. You know what I'm saying? You in danger or something like that. The bitch trying to kill you. Go ahead and knock that hoe out. But man, shit like that. Oh, just don't hit it in front of me, nigga. I walk away like I don't see shit. Go ahead and knock that hoe out. You know what I'm saying?
My name Bennett. I ain't in it. Yeah.
Oh man, bro. I didn't heard it all.
Yeah, that's
I
the
didn't
real
heard
shit.
it all. Well, man, you go ahead, bro. You go ahead. I'm pretty sure somebody else want to come up.
I tell you what, man, I appreciate you
I'll
getting
just be in the, yeah, I'll be in the cut, my nigga.
Really well. I appreciate you getting the call started, man. And sharing your thoughts with us. So you have a good evening, man. Look, don't let them make it, man. Just let them make it this evening.
Well, we gonna see, man. We gonna see after this conversation.
This will be
All right, my G.
Already. All right, let's see who we got called. Line active tonight. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got called into the den this
Ain't that
evening?
some shit?
Hey, what's some shit? What first? Who is this? Who this is? Who this is? Oh, this
You ain't
Queen?
had your bell rung yet?
No, the bell ain't been rung yet. Good evening, Miss
Not
Bell.
yet.
How are you?
I'm running late.
Well, same. See, you on color people time.
I'm on stupid people time tonight.
So, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, Miss Bell?
I'm not completely sure. I thought about something you said last night and a couple of days ago, and I've been reminiscing about it. I went in and threw a bunch of 80s, 90s, soft rock, slow jam, that kind of shit on, and I was just listening to the music. And I thought about it, and about late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of the rap stuff started coming out that was really trashing women. Now, I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but it was an influence. And the reason that I didn't say anything way back then is because it wasn't my lane because of the type of music it was. But what my thoughts were if men are going to talk like this to women, then the behavior is going to change. And it did.
So why
Can
do
you see where I'm going with that?
Like that to women?
I can't hear you.
So why do you believe that men started talking like that to women?
Because they felt like they could.
So you don't think it was anything that women did that
I'm not. Wait a
men...
minute. I'm not saying that it wasn't anything that they may or may not have done. But when you bring that stuff out in public, it's going to change a whole attitude. It's one thing to do things in private. It's another thing to do it in public.
So you don't think that women's behaviors were out in public, and this is why men started stating it that way?
I don't know. I can't speak up for all of society, but I know that it was a much conservative even 20 years ago than it is now. I would say probably in the last 10 or 15 years, it's really, the behavior has gotten pretty raunchy.
Would you say that on men's behalf or women's behalf?
Both.
Okay. So would you say that...
I'm not picking sides. I'm not picking anything, but straight across the board with bad behavior.
So if you could explain to me, how do you feel that men's behavior has gotten more raunchy, and how do you feel that women's behavior has gotten more raunchy?
Men feel more entitled that they can say raunchy things about women, and women are like, well, if they're going to do it, we might as well give them an example of it. And so it's an endless cycle of bad behavior all the way around. Well, you say we're doing it, so we're going to fucking do it to prove a point. And so it just becomes this endless cycle of, well, you said it, I'm going to do it, and there's no fixing it. And as far as the baby drop thing goes, yeah, that's always been the rule. I mean, even shit before I was even born, that was the rule. If a woman stepped out and it wasn't the husband, it was always under the married name.
So do you think that's fair? Do you think that's fair to the man?
I don't think it's fair when either one cheats. And I'm not, I don't play favorites whether it's male or female. Cheating is cheating across the board.
But it's different when you bring another life into the program. So what I'm saying is that a man who believes that...
Well, wait a minute. I have a quick example. How about the women who step into a situation with a man that has a baby mama?
They choose to. The same way a man...
You're right.
It's more men stepping into a situation with women who
to.
have kids than women are stepping into a situation with a man who has kids. I've seen women with children say that they don't want to date men with kids. I've seen...
I never met my stepchildren until a year after we were into a relationship after my son was born. I knew I had stepchildren, but I didn't even meet them until after a year we were together.
And then I understand that. But what I'm saying is, though, the situation where, and we can talk about cheating and deviating, but again, a woman will never, ever be in a situation where she mistakenly believes that she's taking care of her own kid and it's someone else's. It can't happen. It's physically impossible. A man, and it happens thousands, if not a couple of million times a year, is deceived into believing a child is his. Right? Y'all can't hear me? It's real loud? Let me switch up. Is deceived into believing a child is his that is not his, and he's forced to take care of it by the state with no there's no repercussions on the woman. A woman can go be dishonest in the vows that she made, and she's not responsible for her actions. So who is
so publicly shaming women across the board condones the one or the few that
No, it's
do it.
not a
So
few. It's
the
not a
many
few.
are going to take
It's not a
the
few.
hash mark across the face.
It's up to 30 to 40% of people. What was it? It was a study of the people who've gone to get DNA tests. It was at least 30. They were saying at least a third. Oh, let me fix this real quick.
Okay.
Of people who go get DNA tests, those are not the biological fathers of those children.
Mhm. Yeah. Sure. Can I say something while you're doing that? Okay. There's one thing that you and I have agreed on from years and years ago. It was a conversation that probably took place 7 or 8 years ago, as far back as I can remember. Before any of those children come out of the hospital, they need to all be DNA tested. I don't, and that's something that, as somebody who is, I wasn't married to my husband. We got married after our kids were born, but the point is that I knew they were his. I had no issue with that. But the fact is that as a person who does genealogy, as a person who tracks families and does that for a hobby and a living and that kind of thing, yeah, it definitely makes it a lot easier to do that as well. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons to do that, but yeah, even child support. I mean, it would give the both parents the one up of what they're going to look forward to going into court. And the other thing another issue that I have is that there was always dipping and dabbing on the side, but it did never seem to be as so casual sex as it is today. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't back then, because I just wasn't in that kind of style of life to know that went on, and I'm sure it probably did. But it's so much more in the face of being, yeah, you were just a hit it and quit it kind of thing, or you were just a side chick or whatever. The lack of respect for human beings, whether it's male or female, has been totally trashed for a long time. And that brings down a lot of shit. We had a conversation. There were two women, older women, different things. And one of the things that I came to realize is that the time period that I grew up in, there was a lot more respect. You knew who was the hoe, and you knew who was the good girl that went to church. Can they hear me? Okay. Yeah, I see Miss Grace said she couldn't hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. We can hear Belle, but we can't hear Honcho. He's trying to fix it, guys. Now you're on mute. I can't hear him either. You heard me?
Okay. Let me know if y'all can hear me. It sounds like my thing is moving now. Let me try to fix Miss Bell's sound from my end. If you can hear me in the chat, drop a 1.
I can't hear you. You're mute to me.
Then obviously you won't be able to respond because you can't hear me. All right. Ms. Bell, say something. Can hear you? Okay. Let's see. Give me just.
Can't hear you.
Oh, no.
All right. They can hear you, but I can't.
Just a moment.
Michelle says, unfortunately, I can hear Honcho. Can y'all hear me?
How about now? My apologies, y'all.
Honcho, I'm going to try calling you back because I can't hear you whatsoever.
I can see the thing moving. I can see your audio moving, but it's just not giving me. Oh, you know what?
I'll call you right back.
See, that's what happened. This reset. I knew something like this. It shouldn't be the same thing. Now say something, Ms. Bell. Oh, maybe she hasn't. All right. Are you there, Ms. Bell? Give me just a moment. I might have to test it. She may not be able to.
I know what you did, but I can't hear you.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Give me just a second. Because when I reset the thing, it changed the outputs. And I got to re-switch it. Give me just a moment because I have to do it on the damn. Let me see. That's that.
Okay, I hear you now.
And
yay!
Because it'll be the same thing, and then it won't be.
Can you hear me now?
No, I still can't hear Ms. Bell. One moment.
Tell him I can hear him.
That's crazy. I can see it moving. I can see it doing whatever it's doing. Let me see.
Am I muted? Can y'all hear me? True?
Very, very faint. Why is it not? I can't hear shit. My apologies, Ms. Bell. Say something.
Hey.
There it is. Let's see what the. Okay, I have to pardon me because
are we good?
Yeah, we should be good now. It's buttons, and
okay.
I was pushing the button to the right of the button I should have been pushing. Because anyway, so okay.
This is practice for the real live show. Anyway, point being is that the more socially over the last 10 or 15 years that men and women have been dogging each other in public, it just puts everybody's reputations down. And, you know, I hear more bitch this and more that. And it's like, it's more nasty.
So here's my thing, because earlier you said that you feel like women are responding because men are saying that it's happening. So
yeah, it's like being triggered or weaponized. I guess the words are weaponized.
So in that case, if that's the situation, would you say that men have a power over women to make them respond the way that they want to?
To a certain degree, yes, I agree with that.
Okay. And what can women do about that? What if they decided to maybe not respond in that way and do the things that they, or not do the things that they're allegedly to be doing? So wouldn't it just make men liars? Or if they're doing the things that men are saying they're doing, and then other men see that and they believe the other men, wouldn't that kind of back up what those men are saying and make them
to take responsibility? I think some of the women are taking the low hanging fruit too. I mean, it's lazy dating. It's lazy getting together and you know, whatever pops up, you know, you work with what you got, rather than taking the time and having a quality situation. You know, they say that the internet or the dating sites on the internet is the new virtual reality bars. And I'm not in disagreement of that. There may not be alcohol. Well, in some cases there may be. But the fact is that you really don't know anybody until you put time into that situation. And then you're talking a relationship. You're not just talking about a passing fancy. So, and there's been many a baby child come into this world for a passing fancy, and we didn't think we could.
Mm-hmm. You know, I understand that. But also, you said something else about how the casual encounters have increased.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think that is, right? Because do you think that there's more men going out there just taking it from women, or have women become like the men more so, and they're giving it up much easier? They're making it they're lowering the hang of the fruit, if you will.
You mean that they're lowering their standards? Yeah, I absolutely believe that. People think that they can do casual. Not everybody can, and not everybody should.
So, do you think that women's standards tend to lower with more freedoms that they're given?
I don't know. I have all the freedom in the world, and I'm not out dipping it.
But it says across the board, because again, I would say, we leave all women, we listen to women more, we're putting women in more positions of leadership. They're attaining positions that they never have, but at the same time, although there are a few women who are achieving these things, women, across the board seem to be, like, I mean, think about it. Like, we're talking about rap music, right?
Yeah.
So in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, the rap was more, a little bit of love in it. It might have been, a little bit of raunchy. You had your Little Kims and you had your others there. But now you got everything across the board. Every woman who's rapping is probably worse than every man who's out right now. Every mainstream female artist is rapping about fucking on a bunch of dudes, doing drugs, doing all kind of crazy shit, how she's a bad bitch and all this other stuff. It used to be women's empowerment, Queen Latifah, UNITY, Rockin' Rough and stuff with my Afro Puffs, things like that. And they were good music. They were good songs to listen to. They still had about the same leeway. Why is it now that women are more run? They're more independent. They're less under the umbrella of men. But yet now that they're less under the umbrella of men, they tend to act more like men, if you will.
Honestly, I don't see any difference between the men and the women when it comes to the music. What all I'm hearing is anger and resentment from both sides. Mm-hmm. Because if you're going to trash talk somebody, whether you're trash talking a woman or you're trash talking a man, there's anger and resentment for something that wasn't right. If you go back and listen to some of those Luther Vandross songs or some of those, way back when songs, it's like the man is putting the woman or the person that they love on a pedestal, or the woman is putting her divine love for that man up there. We don't see any of that. It's a lot of trash talk.
Yeah. Well, rumors say that Luther might have been putting a man on a pedestal.
Okay, he might have been dipping his wick in a different hole, but not really. But still, the point is that, I mean, who is the Barry White? I mean, you still got a lot of them out there that, and as much as everybody hates to say it, there are even men in jail that have still been known to make baby-making music. So, but the point is those songs were uplifting. Those songs were giving the opposite partner something to feel aspired to. When there's a bunch of hate and anger in the lyrics, everybody just walks away pissed off. And nobody's going to go happy. They may have angry sex, but they're not making love. Because that's a physical reaction, not a connection.
I mean, but the hate and the anger has to come from somewhere, right? So, I mean, it's just
a resentment.
But I mean, why? Who is causing it?
Resentment of, I mean, like you said, in the African American culture, from this is some of the things that you said, that over 50% of women are single. Most of them didn't start out that way. I'm not saying that they wanted the white picket fence in the house. It could have been a condo or whatever. But to have a happy life and a partnership with somebody is usually how it starts out. There's so many broken people these days. You're fitting them together like puzzle pieces just to find something whole.
Did you happen to hear the caller before us, TD, and what he said, his opinion on how women tend to approach relationships these days?
I'm not going to disagree with it. I wouldn't say all people, but yeah, as a general rule, I see why they do it. Mm-hmm. And some of it's probably because they feel like, well, if they can do it, we're going to do it better and better. And it's stupid, to be honest with you.
Well, my deal is this, though. So, because what you have to do is you have to take things kind of at the level you arrive to them. So, women nowadays still want to be held in that same regard that the women of old, women that maybe in your heyday, or when you said things were different, or that behavior wasn't as acceptable. They still want the respect of women in that day, but yet
Hmm.
they want to act like men today. Do you think that's a reasonable way to approach the situation? Do you think that's a reasonable mindset?
No, because the thing is taking everybody across at face value doesn't make somebody an individual. It just makes somebody male or female. It doesn't let them be the human person that they are and the connection that you want to have with them. It just makes them another face in a day. There's no real connection. If you treat them all the same way, they become paper dolls.
So, kind of to shift back to things, because originally
Mhm.
the conversation about the athlete and the child support situation. Do
Mhm.
you think that there should be a limit on child support, and should a woman be able to make a living off of being on child support?
I think it's a very individual statement. I think if they were both single and it was a one-off and it happened, I think there should be a limit. You know, but if they were in a relationship and they were going to be married or whatever, and she got pregnant and they broke up or whatever, that's something different. Because both of them are contractual situations. Yes, having a child with a man is a contractual situation because you're in it for life because you have DNA connected together forever. Yeah, technically you only have to pay a bill out till they're 18 or finish college, depending on what the court says. But now you bound yourself with somebody until you're done. But even when you're done, you're not because you still have a child with them. Unless, God forbid, something happens and the child passes away or whatever. But under the circumstances, I don't think men and women are taking having children seriously in the fact that, yep, oops could happen, and look at the person that you're having sex with, and do you really want to make that person somebody that you're going to have 20 years down the road? If you're not liking them for leaving shit on the floor in the bathroom or not, putting the seat down or, coming home late or drinking or doing whatever, are you going to like that 20 years down the road? Why would you have a kid with that person? If you don't like the behavior you're seeing now and you're not in a serious relationship, you just kind of one off in, then it's kind of almost like Russian roulette.
So, whose responsibility is it? Is the man's to put on the condom, or the woman to make sure that he's wearing the condom?
Both. And I have no problem with that. The woman can take birth control, but with STDs, you still need to have condoms.
But even though Raw is law,
Yeah, that's not without a ring on the finger, and because again, that's to each his own. Everybody has personal limits of what they're willing to do and not do. A woman still needs to feel protected. Even if she doesn't want to have a child with somebody, it doesn't mean she wants to get an STD.
why is it then generally when women tend to end up in those situations, the blame is generally placed on the man? Why are women not generally held
Because it's
accountable for the
easy.
choice that they make?
Because it's easy. There's two people in a relationship. If we're talking straight relationships, a man and a woman, each one's going to take blame. Are they going to always take 50%? Hell no. Some men are going to deny it 100%, and some women are going to say it's your fault. Then it goes the other way around and say, oh, she was a bitch and this and that and the other thing. And she's going to say, well, whatever, and just deny, deny, deny. So it can go either way. But that's the communication part of the relationship. That's not the actual mechanical part of it. And that's the thing. Today's day and age, there's not a lot of talking, so you're almost like the barn door's already been left open and all the animals are already out. So what the fuck? Shouldn't there be some conversation about this beforehand? Like, well, what happens if? And that's part of it. Everybody's throwing caution to the wind and say, well, we'll deal with it. And then she's going, well, I said if I got pregnant, this was going to happen. And he's going to say, well, I don't want any part of that. And that's kind of where it's he said, she said bullshit.
So if a man states up front that he doesn't want children, that, you wouldn't want that to go forth, and a woman ends up getting pregnant, she still decides to have it, who's more at fault?
It's her responsibility, but they're both at fault. Because if he didn't dip his wick, he wouldn't have a DNA issue.
So if both parties had discussed, there's this situation of childbearing, the man said, hey, if it did happen, I would like to have the child. I would love to be a father. And the woman decides that she wants to abort it. Is he entitled to the same respect?
I'd like to say yes, but I know that that's definitely a woman's issue because it's her body, her choice.
So if a man doesn't want to pay for it, what about his money, his choice? Right? If he said up front that he didn't want it and she still decided to do it, knowing that she had options.
Did he get in writing?
It doesn't matter. Did she give it in writing that she?
It should matter because it's contractual.
But if he said he wanted it and she still went against that, what does he get a contract?
Obviously, he got child support. That is a contract.
No, I'm saying if he said he wanted the kid and she decided to abort the baby, does he get a contract? Does a contract save his wishes? Do they preserve his respects?
That's the first time I've ever heard that. I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know everything, but yeah, that would be a good question. And then there are women who don't want men to know that they've had their kid and move across the country and raise their kid. And when the kid turns 21, lets the parent meet him. So, I mean, there's so many different scenarios that go along. It's like comparing snowflakes. No one is going to be like the other. Whether it's two human beings or two relationships. I mean, my husband had two ex-wives. My relationship with him was far different than he had with the other two. But we were all married to him.
Excuse me. A bit there. Pardon me. Okay. So ultimately, and this is the last question I'm going to ask. Take another call. Got a couple other calls trying to come in.
That's fine. That's cool.
But what should there be a cap? Should there be an ultimate amount that is paid in child support, no matter what a man is making? Should there be a limit on child support?
I think there's both ways there should be a limit because she may be very wealthy, but he may be the one that's taking care of the child. I have a friend of mine. The court saw that he made more money and his household was more stable, so their two children went with him, and she had to pay child support. So I think that it can go either way, but yeah, ultimately that has to be negotiated like divorce court. That's when it becomes contractual and say, all right, well, I'm not going to pay for him going to college or her going to private school, whatever, and make those things with the lawyers and get that all done in writing. And then the contract's done. But there's still the communication, there's still the birthdays, there's still the, proms and graduations and school activities and all that other shit that happens with that. None of that's been brought into it. We're just talking about the beginning and the end. When the conception and, they're 18, so they're off the rolls. But there's a whole lot of shit that goes on in between all that.
Should a man be expected to deal with that if he originally didn't want the kid? Like, I mean, if a man wants to sign away his rights, why is he considered a deadbeat? But if a woman wants to alleviate herself,
if he legitimately signs away his rights, then he's done. Let that child, be adopted by somebody that wants him, or be with the mother that maybe has a father figure in mind for the child. I mean, but there's women I know that have walked away. A good friend of mine, he raised 3 kids by himself because his wife was just not well. But yeah, I can't put a dollar figure on a cap, but yeah, it should be capped. And I also think that the parent with the, what's the word I want, full-time custody needs to produce a annual financial report about what was spent on the child, what was spent on the home, and where the money went.
Well, why not just send the kid to the parent with the most money? Wouldn't that just make things a lot easier?
No, because even the poor parent has to put in child support.
We'll see if
whether
they didn't
it's
have to
the man or the woman.
Let's see if you send the kid with the parent that has the most money, the poor parent can get their shit together and then contribute to support the child.
Okay, but it doesn't always work that way, and sometimes the person with the most money isn't always the better parental parent. They may have money, that doesn't make them a good parent. And if they're hiring out with nannies and housekeepers and everything else, that's a whole nother shit story. Because they're not really raising them, they're putting them in the hands of somebody else to be raised.
Okay. All right, one last question. This probably is my last question because you mentioned nannies, housekeepers, things like that. Who makes the better nanny or housekeeper? Black ones or Mexican ones?
I have no idea.
Not even a guess, not even a stab in the dark?
No, because I don't do ethnic. A person is a person. If they're good, they get the qualifications, then they get hired.
All right. Any other final thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap it up?
Nah, I think I did good tonight.
All right.
I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Ms. Bell. The bell has rung, and I thank you for calling in this evening.
I think Trill should call in.
No, wait for that nigga.
No, Honcho.
What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
In a real way. I've been looking for you in the daylight with a flashlight.
This is the best way to find me. How are you doing this evening, Ms. Grace?
All right, and you, Honcho?
I'm doing very good, very good. What are your thoughts on tonight's conversations, the topic, the calls? What's on your mind?
Okay. Interesting. As far as putting a cap on it, it can be a good idea, but when a kid is innocent, you know what I mean? So if a guy didn't want a girl to get pregnant, he should have wrapped it up. He should have taken precautions. You know what I mean? He can't go and do something like that and then turn around and say, oopsie, I don't want to have anything to do with it. You mean you have to take responsibility too, and that's a big thing in life. You mean you have a kid, you get someone pregnant. I'm sorry, you don't get to say oopsie.
But what if he made it,
not all the time,
and known up front, and that what his intentions were, offered to rectify the situation, either play for a plan B or, terminate or whatever it may be, but she still decided to have it, knowing what his intentions were, knowing how he would respond.
He took the chance of having sex with a bitch or that type of woman. Don't cry oopsie now. Too late. You cannot, not when a child is involved. You can't call oopsie. But listen, I just wanted to say this. Okay. I was having this conversation with my great-great-niece earlier, the baby that I babysit.
Yes.
And she was here, she was interviewing me for her college class. And then the little girl took the phone and she went to go call her father. She was talking to her father. And then my great-great-niece, Jazzy she says, I have to drop Ayla off at her father's house. And she said, her friends told her that she ought to be getting all kinds of child support from him. And she said, Auntie, why should I do that? He has these kids, the 2 kids that she has them. He has these kids as much as I do, and he does. I said, Jazzy, I'm proud of you for that. You mean because on Tuesday night they're with the father. Then the great-great-grandfather, his grandfather, 87 years old, brings the little girl to me on Wednesday. Today she happened to pick up the little girl because she wanted to interview me, or she asked if she could interview me, but sometimes the grandfather or the father picks her up from here. And then she stays there, and her father has Thursday off of work, and then Friday night the kids go back to the mother, and it works out really, really well, and I'm proud of her. She says, I don't want to get them for child support because they have the kids like 3.5 days each, every week, all the time, and it's consistent, Honcho. And like she said, he takes them to he signs them up and pays for basketball games and sports and the little girl and dancing. He takes care of all of that. So now he just moved in with his girlfriend. They live together, and she has a child. Everything's working out well. The little girl was so excited at my daddy's house. I got this new bedroom and this, that, and another. And it works out well. And my niece, finally, now she has herself a new boyfriend. And he's wonderful. He taught her how to golf. He has a real popular barbershop down on the Cape. He does so much for the community. She's gone to Boston to do those interactive, museums and all kinds of fun things, out to eat. So the little girl gets to go with her mother and the mother's new boyfriend, and he's wonderful. And then she's over there at her father's house with his girlfriend that he's been with, and now they moved in together. And she was telling me all about the Taco Tuesday. I said, well, who makes the tacos? She says, Daddy and Mel. They make it. So it works out, and I was really proud of her that she's not trying like her friends are telling her, go and get this, that, and another. No, he has the kids all the time. And he loves it. He loves his kids. He's a damn good father. So I said, no, Jazzy, sometimes those other girls will sit there and try to get you to drag a man through the mud. Take everything he got.
Weaponize child support?
Would you say?
So do you think a lot of women try to weaponize child support?
Yes, I do. They'll try to get everything that they can, even if they don't need it. Child support isn't to support the woman. Child support is to support the child. And that's what it's for. But that's basically all that I had to say.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Hold on just one moment. Let me see something here.
Hey, yesterday was nice hearing New York Kenneth on the line.
Yeah, it was. I was pleasantly surprised to hear from Ken.
That guy is so insightful. When you would ask him a question, I was sitting there. Once the baby, I put her down for her nap. I said, okay, let me finish, listening and watching the den. And when you would ask him a question, I would think to myself, how is he going to answer this? And he's so incredibly insightful. It's amazing. I like that. And that's what I love about the den. You all make me smarter.
Ken's a sharp dude. Definitely brings a different perspective. And, especially having, being associated with groups that some of us may not be more familiar with, he brings that insight from the other side. So,
right.
Respect it.
Right. But listen, I'm not going to stay on here because I have things to do in the morning, and you all are not going to have me up all night again. Because you know what happens? I get that second wind, and then everybody in the Discord, they all leave. To go to bed. Okay, good night. And then I'm sitting there like in a dark room by myself.
I definitely understand. It happens to me on occasion, too. But,
yeah. Okay, I'm going to let somebody else call it.
All right, Ms. Graceful, I thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts with us this evening. It's great to hear from you.
Yep, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shout out to the lovely Miss Grace. Always good to hear from her. Oh, that nigga from Port Arthur, I seen that nigga was trying to call, and I guess we can take his call. What we got? How much time we got left? Find an excuse to wrap it up early so we ain't got to hear from that nigga. Call in, Urban Negro. Well, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, you got Trill.
Trill. Long time no talk to the den. How are you feeling this evening, sir?
Like shit. I'm under the weather right now.
I hate to hear that. I hope that you do get better soon. Not too soon. Just suffer just enough, but didn't get better.
Really, that's what we're doing?
Yeah. That's like, I can't let you have it. That's not how it works around here. But you seem to have had some thoughts about some of the calls, some of the things that have been said. I don't know if you were here earlier with some of the statements I made on how I think that child support should be altered. But share your thoughts with us on tonight's conversation.
Well, I wanted to speak on a few things that Ms. Bell said. I don't have no problem with what Ms. Grace said. I agree with her.
Okay.
But first of all, when she was talking about child support and the divvying up of assets when it comes to divorce,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a negotiation. It's a fucking shakedown. There ain't nothing about that in negotiation. Ask any married man who done went through it if it's a negotiation or a shakedown, or they trying to get as much as they possibly can. That's just how that is. And you got to pay for the person that's shaking you down. Ain't that a bitch?
That's the crazy part.
Second of all, I'm gonna give y'all the real deal about why women act the way that they act now.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Bell, unfortunately, it ain't got nothing to do with men. It's got everything to do with women.
Mm-hmm.
Women started it. And I'm gonna tell you where it started. It started in the magazine. That's where it originated from. You had a bunch of married women reading those magazines, and they were hearing the stories about other married women doing certain things anonymously, right? Now, they had these desires secretly, but of course, they could never vocally say that to anybody, so they wouldn't be, discovered or somebody to think differently of them, or somebody to tell their husband. So when they start reading this shit, they was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not the only one that has these secret desires, right? So eventually, they started to pursue their desires, right? And then it just snowballed. Then it went from that to, if you want to put it in the rap perspective, let's do that. You got these rap artists who grew up and never had shit, right? They were broke. So the little women that was around them, they can get, but of course they had to use the power of persuasion to get them. Now that they got money and they got some status, women were literally throwing themselves at them, willing to do whatever it was they wanted. And they was like, oh shit, this is completely different than what I've experienced my whole life. And then what they do, they talk about it. And it's not just women, they all started to see it and was like, damn, nigga, this shit is fun. If you want to have as much fun as I'm having, you got to get your game up and get to where I am. Then that started to snowball. Women was like, oh shit, so that's happening to them. I would like to be with this guy. I have a secret crush on this guy because, I like his persona and all that old shit. So then what she do? She go out and do the same thing she heard about these other girls doing. Now, that don't mean that just because you hear somebody rap about something, that you gonna go out there and do it. Miss Bell, Miss Grace, Michelle, I don't know if y'all know it, but there's been plenty of songs and in movies where you got bitches sucking dick and getting fucked in the alley next to the dumpster. Has any one of y'all been fucked or sucking dick in the alley next to the dumpster? And if so, why not? It's in songs. So why wouldn't that influence you into doing that act? You want to know why it didn't influence you? Because it's not you. If it don't apply, let it fly. You understand that he's not talking about you. You're not the caliber of woman that he's speaking on. He's speaking on a certain particular caliber of woman, and they do exist. And the fact that y'all try to say, well, not all women, does not dispute the fact that they are, that it's a true statement, that they do exist. So it doesn't mean anything. Women played into their own fantasies, and now it's to the point now where women are fearless. They be like, I don't care. This is how I feel. This is what I like. I'll broadcast it for the world to see it. And then, even the ones that look like they don't have that sort of tendency with them. You got women with, and they talk about it all the time, and they're open to tell you. You got women lawyers that present themselves in the right light, professional, all that, like on top of her shit. But while she on her way to the firm, what's she listening to? That ratchet music. On her way to the firm. So she got that in her too. All women have fantasies deep down inside. It just depends on how and when they choose to bring it out. If she wants to be vocal about it or she's unashamed of it. That's all it is. All women now, they just let it all hang out these days. And it's really bad for them, but they don't care. So guess what? If you don't care, that's fine. We're just going to treat you accordingly, and you're going to get the results that you asked for. You might not like it, but that's the choice you made.
Correct. And then eventually they'll just blame men because men won't accept them for the derelict behavior that they decided to display. So somehow it's men's fault for not lowering their standards into that. But anyway. And I mean, I agree. And you say, the music and the things, they may listen to it. But we know what happens. I made a comment that what happens on the girls' trips, right? If women don't believe that there will be consequences for their behavior and their actions, or they feel like they can get away with something without the majority of people knowing, they will engage in it. That's why most women will cheat with a out of town or on a strange trip or something like that. I mean, this is surveys and polls and things have been taken of this. And most women would prefer to cheat in a situation where they are not as familiar with the individual that they're cheating with. It's more of a fantasy, more of a desire. So, strange.
Yeah, that's
scary.
why I read those books.
Yeah, right. And that's another thing, right? Because men are called perverts. We're called disgusting. We're called all of this stuff. But women...
And we are.
Yeah, we are, yeah. But women openly read and display their perversions in public. In the gym, in the car, at the coffee shop, anywhere. Reading these books, reading these sketchy novels, if you will. That's what I always buy the checkouts, right before you finish buying your groceries. If a man was out in public watching his perversions or engaging in them, you would call them all kind of crazy stuff. But women do it openly. They have book clubs about it. They talk about it. Oh, when Dexter St. Jacques he choked the shit out that bitch and punched her in the eye. It was so arousing, some crazy shit. And they'll sniggle about it. They'll talk about it, right? But you don't see dudes talk about, let me tell you how she was. And again, in a one-off conversation, but it's not going to happen where they're going to sit down and have a whole club and talk about it on a weekly basis. So, women are way worse than men. They won't openly admit it. But if we're being honest about it, they are. I love them. We got to love them. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. But they definitely are.
Yeah. And child support shit and the paternity and everything, that's just nuts. I just don't understand because it makes no sense. How can you penalize an innocent party? It's the equivalent of somebody confessing to a murder because they literally thought they did it. Now, they don't remember doing it, but they thought they did it, so they confessed to a murder. Mm-hmm. Then if you look at the DNA evidence, you found out it wasn't them. Their DNA don't match, but yet you're still letting them do the prison sentence. Hmm. How does that make sense?
All right. That's a good point.
But in family court, that's okay.
That's a great analogy. That's very much true. They're out here dropping facts and knowledgeable statements for a change.
It's been a while.
Any other thoughts on Anthony Edwards and his situation? Because the alleged rumor was that he was trying to pay it all up front. Do you think men should be able to prepay their child support and no longer have any financial responsibility?
Yeah, why not? It's the same as, I guess, buying a car. Instead of paying in a month, you just cashing it out. She's going to get the same thing. If she won the lottery, how many folks would take the weekly payment instead of a lump sum? I don't see why that should be an issue. Hell, if he can afford it, do that shit. Okay. Of course, maybe it's got something to do with the state. Maybe they want that slow bleed to where they can get more interest from it. Or can they just charge all the interest up front? I don't know. But I guarantee you it's more about the state getting their money than the mother.
Absolutely. Because I believe there should be a set amount. This should be the total amount over the 18 years that you should pay it. If a man has it right then there, he should be able to pay it. Especially if he's like in the Anthony Edwards situation where he's already openly said he doesn't want anything to do with the child, didn't want the child up front, gave the woman money for an abortion. She chose to use it on something else. And then she decided to try to abscond from Georgia to California in hopes of getting more money. And California told her that is out of their jurisdiction, so she's going to have to deal with it in Georgia. Do you think that there should be a cap, a final amount? And if that should be a cap, what is the max amount someone should have to pay in child support a month?
There is a cap in certain states, and Texas is one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember what it is, but I know that that's a thing. there's a cap in Texas how much you pay maximum. But to just be blunt about it, he's a fucking idiot.
He's an idiot?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree.
Come on, bro. You really thought this bitch was going to get an abortion? And your dumb ass gave her the money, but didn't go with her to make sure she got it done?
Yeah.
Nigga, I wouldn't have gave her shit until I seen the body parts come out the pussy. I'm sorry. I ain't giving you shit.
If he was smart, he'd have hit her with the love and basketball. I'll play you for my heart. And then dunk the shit out of that bitch. Just dunk on that hoe. And then see, he wouldn't have it. Probably wouldn't have to go to a goddamn abortion clinic.
If he was smart, he would have turned into Hot Sauce Drake. That would have been smart.
Oh, yeah. That's terrible thing to say that Drake was smart. Hey, you see how imagine a bitch respond like you would have to know that hoe was super fucking skilled. Like, what would you think of a broad if you had to pull one of those moves? You had to pull a hot sauce move, and you hear this bitch yelling and hollering and screaming in the bathroom. Like, what would your thoughts go? I mean, after you just had intercourse with this woman.
I would have been laughing my ass off, bro. Oh, I would have been laughing.
That's hilarious.
I wouldn't know what. I mean, you already know what to think. You know why she over there.
Yeah.
I know why she over there, so he played it accordingly. She didn't do nothing but hurt herself, but I mean, shit, you don't have no control of what's in the garbage and what's not.
Right.
Well, yeah, he put it in the rubber, yeah, but he threw it in the trash.
Right.
Which means he got rid of it. It was no longer here.
Yeah.
She decided to dig in the trash and expose herself to it. That's on you.
Yeah. That's hilarious, though. I know they say you shouldn't, but flush them motherfuckers just to be extra safe.
Nah, I think it's funnier. I'm sorry. I think it's funnier.
Who do you think is more desperate behind the other sex, right? Men or women?
Oh, it's not even close. Men are way more desperate. But it's slowly starting to curve. Slowly. But I don't think it'll ever be equal like that. I don't think it'll ever be.
I don't know.
Always gonna put it, because only 40% of us ever gonna procreate, and probably even less than that these days. Besides, motherfuckers ain't getting no ass at all.
Yeah. The reason I asked is because I was thinking about this whole Chris Brown scenario. I made a comment on somebody's page. They deleted my comment because I was right. But I said that obviously men are the prize, because no man would ever go as crazy for any R&B singer, rapper, or anything like that, female, of course, as these women do for Chris Brown. Right? Paying thousands of dollars to just to take a picture, or the thing they're willing to disobey or willing to throw away their whole relationship just to go to a concert. Right? Or to be on stage. And it's not even just Chris Brown, it's a variety of R&B singers. So to me, that woman would have to be much more desperate and thirsty for a man who doesn't even know that she exists. And she's willing to do all that with somebody who actually gives a damn about her, versus I don't think most men would engage in such a behavior.
Well, these days, I would have to say we are the prize. And it's because women made it so. You literally have talked down, talked shit, embarrassed men to the certain point to where regular men don't even come up on your radar these days. You made the elite men more elite, more scarce, and now that they know that they're in that place, they're gonna act a goddamn fool. And then y'all put up with some shit from them that you wouldn't put up with from any regular dude. So you really just keep putting these guys up on the pedestal. And so they're going to get the best of you, while the people around you just going to get either the worst or whatever's left over. And by the time that dude that finished taking advantage of you, because you are one of many, now you all hurting shit. Now you want a regular dude, and he get what's left over. And that's not really fair to him. But he's been, a good dude his entire life, but he always had a thing for you. And now you finally decide to give him a chance, and you know what I'm saying? And now it's not what you thought. It's not going to ever be what your adoration was from the top tier dude. It ain't going to ever be that. And so you're dissatisfied. and so that guy never gets the best of what you could have been.
Okay. That makes sense. Can't disagree with that. All right. Any other thoughts on your mind? Anything else you would like to discuss? Anything on topic we may have covered previously? Just anything you got on you to say before we're ready to wrap it up?
Tell Miss Grace to toot that ass up. That's it.
Well, there you have it. Toot that ass up.
All right, bro.
All right, Trill, I appreciate you calling, man. You get better soon, man. Drink you some chicken noodle soup and some orange juice.
Man, I've been drinking that medicine ball from Starbucks. That shit helps.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's a bad one. So I hope it helps and gets you back on your toes quicker. But I thank you for calling.
All right,
you have a good night. All right, so we'll wrap it up on that one. That's about that time. Good point, Big L. Very good point. That there are men who. Have you ever seen the dudes on who like spin? I saw one. It was a Hispanic dude. I think it was some white chick he was after, and it's so rude. At least Chris Brown will hug you for $1,000. These bras are so crazy. This dude, he spent like $20,000 on this chick, and he met her, and she just looked at him just like, ugh, you know, like disgust. Like bitches don't even know how to keep their bag going. You know what I mean? I guess she's probably thought she'd never see him in real life. And then, you know, they're showing off all the goods and everything and this, that, and the third, every other disgusting behavior. I think for the most part, I'm hoping Chris Brown's keeping his clothes on. But, you know, it's just wild. It was another chick, I think she was twerking at some party or something, and the dude, he was a black chick and black dude. I think he spent like $10,000 on her. And just kind of gave him the same way, like, ugh, get up off me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's crazy. Crazy. Right? So, yeah. Well, that's a wild deal. It's never been good enough to want to take yourself out. There's always something else. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So I don't think we'll be at a Discord this evening. It's a little bit different though, because it's early, because we started early, since we started at 8. You know what I'm saying? And usually we start at 9. It's a little bit different. But I'm gonna start testing out this 8 o'clock thing for a little bit to see how it goes. So I know a lot of people, you know, depending on what part of the country you are, you're kind of winding down. If you're on the East Coast, you're winding down. So we're gonna test out the 8 o'clock thing, see how that shakes, and then if the 8 o'clock thing works well, then maybe we may start doing the den at 8 if it feels great, because then that allows everybody to get to bed at a certain time. And then if you want to hop in the Discord. Still may be in the Discord for an extended period of time, but you're not in the Discord for as long or as late as we generally are. So, with that being said, J-Mail, what's the motherfucking deal? Man, yeah, I guess I don't think about it, but yeah, some throwed off dudes out there, right? But again, throwed off bitches. Everybody's fucking throwed off. It's just a lot of trash people. We could do a big fucking just control alt delete twice. It'd be real nice on society. But anyway, with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you. I gotta adjust because the camera's over here now, and yeah, I gotta tweak some things because some shit was out of whack when we got started. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for being here. Tomorrow we're gonna shoot for 8 o'clock tomorrow. I got some. Unless another thing comes up, I have a topic for tomorrow. We started at 8 today. I got a topic for tomorrow. I'm not gonna tell y'all just yet. Unless some kind of celebrity does something really stupid, then we might talk about that, because I might just do a recording on it. Anyway, with that being said, what is today? This ain't Wednesday or Thursday? It's Wednesday, ain't it? Yeah, Wednesday. All right, cool. So until mañana. Try to produce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Y'all ain't got to go home. Y'all can go in the den if you want to, but I'm not going to be in there on the Discord if you want to. I'm not going to be there this evening, but we'll probably get back rocking tomorrow. So I'm Chuck with Deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Ain't got to go home, but get the hell out of the den this evening. Thank you for joining. Hit that like button if you ain't hit that like button. Adios, amigos. Buenos nachos. And all that other good stuff. Matter of fact, I'm going to eat me a fajita taco. Sí. Muy bien.